Their performance for being alert, for being disciplined, and to being in the moment is going to be, it requires energy. And yet willpower is your reservoir of energy. You want to start with a full tank. Hi, my name's Steve, and in this video, it's going to be a shorter video, but I'm going to talk about why you want to meditate first thing in the morning. Or in this case, do anything that's really high priority in your life first thing in the morning. There's two really good reasons. So I'm using a new headset. This is the one I'm going to use to narrate my book. So if you haven't got the Audible version of my book, it should be out in the next week or two. I'm just going to be going through that. So why do you want to meditate first thing in the morning? There's a couple of good reasons, and it's basically because of the way we're built as human beings. Some people meditate in the afternoon, at the end of the day. Some people meditate in the evening, and that's all fine. I actually had a client years ago, Nick Yaksich, and he used to meditate in the afternoon. Now, he was a sales guy, so he didn't have a typical traditional work day, but he used to meditate in the afternoon, and that's fine. What I find works best is to meditate in the morning, and I'll tell you why. There's two good reasons. It was interesting because the reason this topic came up is because a good friend of mine that we don't usually talk about this sort of thing. He had brought it up, and he'd considered to do some meditation. He was thinking about doing meditation. We met a couple weeks ago, and I was like, okay. I'm like, this is why you want to meditate in the morning. And so I kind of illustrated out for him. So there's a couple things. One is there's 2 times of the day that you're in these, we'll say, more trance state, more kind of relaxed, internally focused states, and that's a good time to meditate. Because if you're You know, if you've had a coffee and you start your day and you're in this high beta mode, which is what we're in during the waking day, it's hard to get internally focused. You're externally focused naturally. So you're kind of like, you're in a situation that you're not predisposed to internal focus, okay? But there's 4 basically brainwave states that I talk about in my book, right? There's beta, okay, which is waking day focused. There's alpha, right, which is a very relaxed daytime focused. And then there's theta, which is a deeply relaxed inward focus. And then there's delta, which is sleep. Now, theta is when you are still consciously aware, but you're not externally focused, you're internally focused. So you're with your emotions, you're with your thought, you're with, maybe you might be visualizing, those sort of things. If you daydream during the day, that's a theta state, okay? Now, that's one good reason to meditate first thing in the morning, because when you wake up in the morning, you're naturally in a theta state. Sometimes you'll jump from deep delta and then get right to alpha and then beta very quickly. Depends on how you wake up. But for most of us, when we wake up, we're in delta, we wake up, become aware, and then we're in this foggy kind of dream state where we're still internally focused, and that's theta. Now, when you're in theta, that's the perfect time to meditate because you're inwardly focused. That's the first reason. The second reason that it's really important to do meditation at night because of how willpower works. So let's think you go through a normal day. You wake up, you hit the alarm, you take a shower, brush your teeth. If you have kids, you get them ready for school. You bring them to school, you get yourself ready. Then you go to work. Then once you're done work, you pick up the kids from school again, or you have someone do it for you. Then you come home, you prepare supper. Then you put the kids to bed. And then you might get 2 hours to yourself at night, right? That's like a very standard day for like a parent that's a working parent with younger kids. When you get to the end of the day, you have that 2 hours, say to yourself, if you try to meditate at night, you've depleted your entire reservoir of willpower. There's like nothing left. So you're trying to do something like meditate, which requires a lot of willpower when you have depleted it all. So what happens is you fall asleep, you start focusing on other things. You're not even doing any sort of meditation. And that's the second reason why you want to do it first thing in the morning, because when you go to sleep, 8 hours, 7 hours, whatever you sleep, by the time you get to the morning, you build up that reservoir of willpower because you're not using the conscious mind at night. You're in delta, you're in dream state, right? For most of you, you're probably not even in your body at night. You're like out doing other things. But the key is that when you sleep, that reservoir starts to fill up. And when you get to the morning, you can wake up with a full reservoir of willpower and you take on the task that's the most difficult, which in the beginning, it's going to be meditation. It's going to be any new habit you're trying to integrate into your life or any new discipline or ritual. But I can tell you from experience, if you've never meditated before or you've done it and you're still new to it, what will happen is that reservoir, because it's full, you're more likely to get to that state of presence, and you're more likely to, let's just say, see more progress with your meditation because you're doing it with a full reservoir of willpower. See, willpower is not infinite. It's not like you tap out, and you know this because like if you go through an entire day or an entire week where you're stressed and you're doing like things for work and you've got a million things going on, and you're using your willpower to get those tasks done, by the time you get to the end of the day, you're tapped out. All you want to do is veg on the couch. And the reason is because your willpower reservoir is depleted. So the things that are the most important to you in your life, a new habit, if you want to start running, or if you just want to meditate in the morning, what I highly recommend is you start first thing in the morning, because guess what? That reservoir of willpower is at full capacity. So you're going to be their performance for being alert, for being disciplined, and to being in the moment is going to be, it requires energy. And yet willpower is your reservoir of energy. You want to start with a full tank when you meditate. And then the second reason, like I mentioned earlier, is because you're in that theta state and you're predisposed for internally inward focused thoughts, feelings, that sort of thing. Okay? Visualizations. If you're looking for a meditation, I have one called the 8-minute meditation. It's free. You can basically search my name on YouTube and you'll find it, and you can start with that. But the key is that if you start in the morning, you've got the full reservoir and you're more likely to be successful with it. Now, I started in the evening and afternoon, then I went back to the morning. I didn't like doing it in the morning. Here's the key with the morning. When you are in bed in the morning, okay, and you're waking up to do this meditation, it can't be an afterthought. In other words, you can't just wake up in the morning and like, oh, I'm going to meditate today. You have to go to bed with intention. And an intention, if you remember from my book, is about instructions you give to the 50 trillion cells in your body. So you want to start going to bed with intention that those 50 trillion cells are going to obey your commands to wake up and meditate. So that's the third thing, is that it's like, this is more just a part of the ritual. Yes, your biology is predisposed to being in the theta state when you're waking up. Yes, you have the most willpower when you wake up in the morning and you have a really good night's sleep. Thirdly, and this is just to make sure that I want you to win if you're going to do this, when you go to sleep, go to bed with intention. In other words, you might think about it one night and then you wake up and you don't do it. You might think about it another night, go to bed and not do it. But the third night you thought about, okay, I'm going to really meditate tomorrow. I got to do this. It's Friday morning, right? Whatever it is during the week. And you go to bed with intention. Well, guess what happens? When you wake up with intention. And what are you doing? You're giving instructions to your body, the unconscious mind, those 50 trillion cells, to say, this is what's happening next. And then you go and you find a spot, usually another location, not in your bed. It could be on the couch, lie on the floor, you could sit in a chair, whatever is comfortable for you. You can stand if you want, and you just listen to my recording and that will get you started. Or if you have a recording that you use on your own, then you can use that, but some sort of guided meditation. That's how you meditate if you're going to be the most successful at it. Okay? I hope you found this useful and helpful. Like I said, the Audible version of my book will be out in the next couple weeks. I'll have it in the links below. Thanks for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.